Again, Ronnie O'Sullivan takes control. He had a 48 there, then missed the blue to let John Higgins in, and I think John Higgins will be disappointed because he had a real chance here. Missed one with the rest, which he's done a few times recently.
He has, but it wasn't actually perfect on it. He's come a little bit awkward, and I could see why he did miss it. And it was a good chance, but where he left the cue ball with the rest, you'd expect him to get it 7 out of 10, say, but it wasn't a gimme, you know.
And as we mentioned earlier, it's the pressure of knowing your opponent is playing well when you do get to the table that you really have to take every chance, or even half chance that comes your way.
Yeah, it's magnified. You know, Ronnie's got himself back together and started the frame and got a good break and looked like he's back in the zone, as it were. And there's a lot of pressure on every time you get a chance. It's great to have the chance, but at the same time you've got one eye on your opponent, thinking if I miss here, it could be in trouble.
Yeah, Ronnie potted some good balls clearing up there, though, didn't he?
Yeah, very much so. And he as I say, he got himself back together. The frame after the interval, he lost it a little bit, which, as we said, can happen. But he looked very good again there. Yeah,
he's made the more consistent break bowler. John's only really had that one big break, the 137. Nothing else at all, really. Ronnie's had consistent 50, 60, 70.
Yeah, I think John's just still feeling it a little bit. But if he can win this frame, I think both players will be happy with the scoreline, funnily enough.
So will it be 5-3 or 6-2? This is the last frame of the opening session of this Embassy World Final. Let's see how it goes with John and Ray.
Well, that's a good break off. A normal safety from there, if he can't hit a red clearly, is the side of the pack, and I think he can just get by the yellow to this red here and maybe leave the cue ball this end and leave it near this cushion, comparatively safe.
I don't think that was too bad a flick on the brown, really. If he's covered the main bunch of reds and only left Ronnie one red to hit, well, he's looking at these, so he can obviously get to the right-hand edge of one of these reds to play a good safety. It's not a bad target, the yellow and brown. Well, he tried to play a plant in off another one, and he's not hit that right. And this is the type of red that John Higgins will take on. It's fraught with danger. Not the one nearest the pocket, he just can't get through to that. The one just above it. The black's available into the opposite corner, and these are the shots that he practices on the practice table all the time. It's a bit different sometimes when it's the real thing, but he'll be disappointed. He usually knocks those in. That's the shot, as I say, he practices a lot. He'll be disappointed he missed it and couldn't help having a lingering look at the table to see what he's left. And the way Ronnie's thinking about it, maybe nothing. Well, does that red just go in the middle? Normally Ronnie takes about 19 seconds a shot. He's been on this shot for about a minute. It's coming up. Now that is a long time. We're talking about a man here who made a 147 in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. He must have a problem. made him think about it. He just couldn't see how he could get on a colour, but playing with lots of topspin, he knew he'd be running into the pink, but had enough pace on it to run through, and a possibility of the blue in the left centre. And that, to me, has been the difference with Ronnie O'Sullivan in this championship.
6.
If a shot was obvious, obviously he plays it quickly. If it's not, then he will give it that extra bit of thought, which sometimes we always question that he didn't do often enough. He's certainly looking the complete player this year.
Seven. Thirteen. $18. 19.
Off that last red, he'd love to have played for the black, but he didn't get the right angle. That's why he's gone up for the blue, and he's just a little bit thinner on the blue than he would like. Running into balls, but doesn't look to have caused much of a problem.
24.
Staring a 6-2 defeat in the first session in the face at the moment.
25.
And that was a lovely judgment by Ronnie in potting that, ran off 2 reds and come absolutely perfect on the black.
$32. 33.
That nearly got astray. Just a lapse of concentration and big bounce off the cushion. I don't think he's far enough for the red that he played for.
40.
Whether the outer one of those two will go to the right corner, I don't know. I think he'll have to take one to the right middle. There you see it. He played for the one to the left of those two. Just short of pace.
41.
But now to hold for the next red after the black, he's going to have to play a little cannon into the red in the centre of the table. Perfect.
48. $49.
Well, you'd be very surprised now if he didn't win the frame at this visit. He's just looking for 2 reds, 2 colours.
55. $62.
Well, there you see it. He's just a couple of balls away from setting off really in grand style in pursuit of that trophy. You just saw the Embassy World
63.
Championship trophy. He's been destined to, in many people's eyes, to have won this before now, but he's getting off to a good start this year. Still a long way to go, of course. But you have to admire John, how well he's restrained and controlled himself. He really has kept it all under control throughout the last 15 days and today.
Yes, when he's in this mood, he's the perfect snooker playing machine. He really is. He's got every facet of the game. Well, that'll stop we could stop a bull elephant, couldn't we, with our conversation? Well, John Higgins is coming to the table because he only needs one snooker. And Ronnie, having clinched the frame, there you see it, John Higgins 70 behind, 67 remaining. But there's just a chance in this frame. Well, not now.
Once again, John, it just proves how you can never take anything for granted at snooker. You see the most amazing things happen at the least expected time. But that's enough. John walks over to shake his hand, and Ronnie O'Sullivan, pretty impressive in this opening session. A very, very useful 4-frame lead to take to this evening. 6-2 to Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, let's just take a look at the tournament breaks so far in this Embassy Championship of the World. Ronnie O'Sullivan with 7 centuries so far, 3 in the 90s, 8 in the 80s, and that's very heavy scoring indeed by the man who now leads 6-2. Contrast that with John Higgins, who has more centuries, 10 to Ronnie's 7. Hasn't perhaps scored quite so heavily in the 70s, 80s and 90s, but that might be misleading John Parrott, because Ronnie's not a great century gatherer. I mean, quite often he goes wrong in the 70s, 80s and 90s just by playing exhibition shots after the frame's won.
I think I'd like to go wrong in 70s, 80s and 90s, but it could be basically, if you're practicing in the club, that's what you're looking for. You just want to make a 70 break every frame you play, and you'd be world champion every year.
Yeah. Is the 6-2 scoreline pretty accurate reflection of the play so far?
Yeah, I think so. It was a big frame that actually. I said they'd both be happy with that, because obviously Ronnie would have been 5-3 and John would have thought, but I haven't played at my best and I've got away, I'm only 2 behind. But 6-2, great lead for Ronnie. And the last break, I mean, you wouldn't think he was in a world final. So fluent and beautifully made and constructed, and 6-2 is a great lead.
Yeah, but you do forget, because Ronnie's been around for such a long time and has always been there and thereabouts, that this is his first world final, but clearly he's not thinking about it. It's just another big game. He's coped to them so well throughout the championship.
Yeah, I think that's all to do with his attitude. He always plays the same way. He's some similar sort of thing to Mark Williams. He wouldn't know whether he was in the first round or the final, and he's very similar, and he looks, as I say, we've said it, the word focused, it's a horrible word, but it's there, and it means that he's been like that since the minute he walked through the door on day one, and he looks ready for it.
Yeah, and he likes finals. He's got a great record in finals. Been in 28, won 20 of them. That's a very impressive record against obviously the best players in the game.
Well, I didn't know that, and that is a fantastic record to have. He might make it better in this tournament as well, I think, because John Higgins is going to have to play exceptionally well.
Yeah, we're not writing John off, clearly, but this is now a big session for John tonight, isn't it?
Very much so. I mean, Ronnie is very similar to Jimmy White in that respect. When they were playing at their best, if you didn't hit them back enough, they could end up steamrolling, that John mentioned in commentary, and they can start pulling away and they become imperious front runners.
Yeah. What might be worrying John is that the old Ronnie might just have taken his foot off the gas a little bit, having taken a 6-2 lead. I think the 2001 Ronnie doesn't look as if he's going to do that. No,
not at all. I think you're 100% right. At the moment he just looks like every frame he wants to make 70 and 80. He can't wait to get amongst the balls, and it makes it look too simple.
He does. So 6-2, Ronnie O'Sullivan leads after the first 8 frames of this best of 35 final. Stretches through this evening and of course the 2 final sessions tomorrow. But with Ronnie having taken the lead, let's just take a slightly more in-depth look at this highly complex character.
It's a game that I played since I was a kid, and I got a lot of joy out of it, and my whole life has been around snooker. I haven't really had a childhood as such where I used to go out playing football with the boys. I was always in a snooker room, and you play that for a long time, and sometimes you can, I don't know if it's burnout or anything, but everyone needs a rest from something for a while. A lot of the time where I say things where I think, nothing's going to get said about it, but then you read the paper the next day and they've totally, mixed the story up, and I'm sitting there thinking, God, that's, I never said that, and I've actually had to phone up to say to certain players, I didn't actually say that, and they went, they've just laughed about it. You learn from their mistakes, and hopefully I don't make as many mistakes as I used to. I still make the odd few because, we're human, and sometimes, you can get caught up in the heat of the moment and say something that you wish you wouldn't have said. But I'm learning, and, as long as I don't make as many mistakes as I made in the past, then it's a positive thing. I've never felt any pressure at Sheffield, and I've been beaten by a lot of people that have been on top of the game. I mean, me and Stephen Hendry had a game a couple of years ago in the semi-finals, and it was just unbelievable. You know what I mean? We was just knocking in centuries and 80s and 90s, and I come off there and I played really well, and I'd got beat 17-14 or something, and then Higgins beat me a couple of years or the year before that, and he never missed the ball for 17 days, and I lost the session 8-0 against John, and that's what cost me the match. And I don't really feel that much pressure. I mean, obviously you feel the butterflies when you go out there, but if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I can always say I've done my best. That's the whole buzz about it. If you ask any player, all the practice you do and all the preparation you put in, it's all, to when you're putting your suit on, coming out the hotel and getting to the venue, and you start feeling the butterflies. That's really what we all practice for. If it meant going in the club every day and just having a knockabout, having played the game for 17, 18 years, that don't become as much, because you want to play in front of the big crowd, you want to play in front of the TV cameras, and you want to be playing for, for silverware and winning titles, and I think that's all that keeps, it's like a drug in a way. You just want to, you get addicted to it, and sometimes, winning is a special feeling. I know as long as I keep myself fit and, and dedicated and do the right things, then I know I could be around for a long time. And hopefully that's what I can be around for a long time. So looking at the bigger picture, hopefully I've got 10 more good years in me at snooker. You've got to keep things in perspective. I've got a good strong family behind me. Things are good off the table, and that's all you can ask for. I'm healthy. I've got 2 arms. I've got 2 legs. anything's possible. And I'm going to die one day. I just want to make the most of this life, because I don't think it's a rehearsal, and I don't believe in reincarnation.
And it would be a brave man who would back against Ronnie O'Sullivan winning this World Championship. 6-2 in front after the opening session. Now, this is the 31st and final match of this World Championship. We've seen some absolutely outstanding pots so far, and the question, as always, arises as to what has been the shot of the championship. Well, we asked Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor to sort out the brilliant from the merely excellent.
Have we got some hot shots for you this year in the Embassy World Championship?
We think this is the best lineup ever.
I think we should have a look at them, eh?
I mean, this was a big shot. He needed this to get on the brown.
Well, I can't believe how he's got the screw. Look at the reaction on the cue ball.
It reminded me of Perry Mann's, that one.
Terrific shot, that one. Now this is the other part of the game. Look at the scoreboard. He's 20 points behind. He can't take the pot on, so he thought, I wonder could I get in behind the pink. But I mean, what judgment here, Steve.
Loads of right hand side, 4 cushions, absolutely perfect behind the pink there.
Great shot.
He won the frame.
Great shot.
Well, I think this is the best shot to nothing I've ever seen in my life. I mean,
well, you say a shot to nothing, but look at the green over the pocket. It looked like a wild shot, but that was an unbelievable pot, wasn't it?
He'd been put back in by Andy Hicks there. What was Andy Hicks thinking?
And what an escape from the snooker this was. Patrick Wallace is sort of tight up against the black.
He swerved it to start with, and then the spin on the ball as it went down the nap of the cloth has curved it round the pink.
He's hit it with right hand side, and then, as you say, against the nap, it just missed the pink.
Mark King needed the points. He must have just slumped down in his chair after that.
What a shot. Great shot.
This was to make a 140 break if possible, and he was completely out of position on the black, the worst place.
Well, he's almost straight, and if he plays it with side, left-hand side, he's going to go into the middle pocket. But what a shot to avoid the middle pocket and finish perfectly on the yellow.
Well, take a look at the scores. He needed that red. It was stuck by the pink.
Great thinking there, and to avoid the blue, hit a couple of cushions. He needed that red out, and he did go on to win the frame. That was a fantastic shot then.
Take a look at this white ball, it just takes off.
The backspin he's created here is incredible, and the pace that he's got into it. He's actually hit 4 cushions and finished perfectly on that red.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, but it's not up to you, Steve. It's up to the viewers. So there you have it. You've got Patrick Wallace, you've got John Higgins, you've got Anthony Hamilton.
And the 4 Ronnies.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's good night from him.
And if you'd like to take part in our snooker census, all you have to do is call us with your selection. The number to dial is 09001 44770, and then add the number of the shot you've chosen. So, for example, if you agree with Steve, add the number 7. But if you prefer Ronnie's shot to nothing, then add the number 3 to the telephone number. All calls cost 10 pence. The lines close at midnight.
Thank you, Doogie. Good evening, everyone.
I give the 9th frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
And I'm sure you can sense the atmosphere within the crucible tonight. A full house as far as I can see. All 980 seats full. O'Sullivan not disposed to take a risk with that initial length of the table red.
This final, because of the 2 players, has all the makings of one of the great world finals. But it'll only be remembered, as all great finals are, if it keeps close. And John Higgins this evening, I feel this is a very big session for him. I don't think he can afford to lose this session 6-2 as he did the first one.
Or maybe Higgins was just checking with the referee that there is an edge available. That might have been an interesting question if he'd gone for a thin edge and missed.
I'll tell you what he might have mentioned as well. I noticed that the green rocked back on the white, so even if he didn't hit the green, if it was going to rock back in that little indentation where the spot is, then John was just probably making certain that the referee took a close look and made certain it wasn't the cue ball that hit the green, because it definitely seemed to rock back.
I think that's the correct diagnosis.
Yes, you don't expect on a new cloth. They don't use spots, they just put the lines, which is where the balls lay, but of course they keep being replaced on the spot, so there could be a little bit more on wear and tear on the spots than there is on other parts of the cloth. The reds are open now. Either player who makes a mistake here could be costly.
O'Sullivan has hit his safeties consistently well in this championship.
Mistake, but I think he's had a bit of luck. He's certainly not left anything easy.
A minute thinking time. Long time for O'Sullivan.
And in the end, you could say, what was he thinking of? Because he's knocked a red over the right centre. Chance for John Higgins.
It's extremely important for Higgins to make a good start to this session, resuming with a 4-frame deficit.
So. Well, he just got the wrong angle on the pink, and I'm not quite certain which red he played for. There's one on to the left centre, but it's not straightforward. Not straightforward at all to pot it and get position on the next colour. Did play this well. A lot of right hand side to check it off the cushion. Just flick past the red, perfect on the pink. Good shot. But it hasn't taken him long to run out of position again. 26.
And that to me has been his problem, Clive. When he's got in, he just doesn't seem to be scoring as proficiently as we expect John Higgins.
Yes, he's not made the most of all his chances, but those chances have not been coming along all that often. He did miss a significant chance this afternoon when he could have won the 7th frame from behind, but missed a rest shot.
That's what it would look like if you were sat in the arena. That's perfect. That's absolutely inch perfect. A few recovery shots. But now a good chance to build up a really useful lead in this first frame this evening.
.33.
Ronnie sat there because he played a very careless safety shot.
.39.
Tried to screw between two reds, but just caught the edge of one of them.
Yes, and nearly went in off, but he's okay. Just drop this blue in, there'll be a red available. It's one of those situations, if it had needed to do anything with a cue ball, it could have been end of break, but as I say, there is a red available into the left corner, so he's still in reasonable position. 45 points, the lead.
.46.
And at last, Higgins can get on the red, which is on the black spot.
Yes, and at last he's got a chance to make it a frame-winning contribution. That was always going to be the key to this frame, if you could get on those reds. He's looking good now. Well, he played that very tentatively. I don't think he had quite the
60.
right angle, and he needed to use a bit of right-hand side. And basically, I think he didn't want to miss the black. And now he's not on the red properly. He didn't really commit to that. If he pots the black, gets position on the red, end of frame. Now, it's end of break.
John Higgins, 60.
Good break. 60 in front, but still a possible 75 left on the table. Does the kiss on the brown make this red available into the left corner? If it does, he'll take it on.
It hadn't. bit on the thick side, but good direction.
Yes, and it makes it difficult now for Ronnie to play safe with that red near the left centre. That's pretty good. Little tap on the table from John Higgins. And a little tap from Ronnie, so we've got everything and the sportsmanship that you need to go with it. Well, a very helpful kiss on the green, but nevertheless that was an excellent shot from Ronnie to get that cue ball back into the baulk end. A shot like that could give him a chance to get back in this frame.
Higgins' turn to cannon the green and thus keep the cue ball nearly on the baulk cushion. Didn't really have a safety, so trusted to his potting.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Couldn't risk the pot, but needed the black in play. That's why he's played to bring the black down this end. 59 points behind, but still 67 remaining. But now John Higgins looking for one more red. That was a good shot.
That also.
As I say, Ronnie though has left him a chance, and John Higgins only needs one red. He's certain to take this on. If he gets this, should win the frame.
Couldn't have got this any closer. But was always taking the cue ball back into baulk. Using black and pink to cover the red he played.
John Higgins just having a walk down to the baulk end, so he's obviously not playing a pot. The red second left. If you could come thin off that, knock the red on the cushion, which will help, and try and get the cue ball behind the green. If this went right, it could be a frame winner. He's not got it behind the green. Will Ronnie take this red on just below the blue? The answer's no. Just to safety, bring that red away from the cushion. Where's the black going? Oh, that's unlucky.
John Higgins, 7.
So now, John Higgins goes 66 ahead with 67 remaining. He still needs one more red, but of course more difficult for Ronnie O'Sullivan should he get a chance.
Oh, not only missed the frame ball red, but developed the safest red to a better position.
Yes, if that had happened a few moments ago before John Higgins got those 7 points, this would have been a good chance for Ronnie, but he needs blacks. If he pots the pink, he can only tie. Man, I must admit at the moment he'd probably settle for that. If he takes the pink with the remaining reds, he needs blacks.
Deliberately left an angle on that red
8.
to be able to get back for black.
$15. 16. 24. $31.
Not ideal. Would have preferred to have been straighter to the right corner.
Well, he's taken these absolutely tremendously. But now it gets harder. Needs the 6 remaining colours to tie.
39.
As you see, green and brown, very awkward.
$41. $44.
Tried to develop the brown, but bring the brown away from the cushion. This is tricky.
Higgins realises that it's blue, pink and black to tie. Oh!
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 48.
A chance missed, but the blue has run safe. He had to strike from nearer than he would have wished to the side cushion.
Yes, the only thing in Ronnie's favour there, he got away with it and didn't leave the blue on for John Higgins. So Ronnie O'Sullivan's still in this frame. And you just feel that John Higgins can't afford to lose this frame. He got in first with a break of 60, ran out of position. And then had another chance at a long red. One he'd normally knock in, missed it. And now it's come down to the blue, pink and black.
thinking of striking the blue from behind.
Well, John Higgins has come round to have a look at the potting angle. He only needs the blue, but well, if he doesn't get this, the cue ball could be careering up and down the table. This isn't really a shot for nothing.
The potting angle was too thin to risk. But the strength of O'Sullivan's safety misjudged. Higgins needs only the blue to make sure of the frame.
And I would suggest, Clive, that'll be a very, very relieved John Higgins.
Indeed. It would have been bad enough to lose the frame, but to lose it in the circumstances that this frame produced would have been a huge
5 on the frame.
psychological blow. As it happens, Higgins has won the frame to reduce his arrears to 6-3.
What a crucial blue that was for John Higgins into the centre. A more difficult shot than it looked, but what a fabulous opening frame, Steve.
It had everything, that frame. It had a couple of 50 breaks, great break building, the excitement of a few missed pots, but it started off with a clever shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan that was mentioned at the time. What was he doing with this shot? He had no real obvious shot on. What he tried to do was attempt to pot a red into this middle pocket. The red he was going for was this red here. Okay, but what he thought was, well, it's going to be risky if I miss it. But he saw that if he played off the red, down off the side cushion, to about there, all of a sudden he had the chance of snookering John Higgins behind the brown. Sadly, it went wrong, and all of a sudden he was left with a big problem as John Higgins got in and made an early 60. But a great try, and great sort of like aggressive shot to nothings that the modern day players play. He was a way out with it, but he had the thought of that.
Yeah, the idea was right, the technique wasn't. It let John in. I just think that is absolutely crucial for John. Had he lost that one from being 60 in front, who knows what psychological damage that would have done.
Exactly.
Frame 2 of the evening, 6-3.
John Higgins is one of the most resilient and tenacious competitors in the game. In fact, Higgins was saying last evening that he actually found it easier to produce his best when he was a frame or so behind than when he was a couple of frames in front. I suppose when you're in front there's a fear of losing it.
Well, I also feel when you're in front you can go a little bit negative and try to sit on your lead, whereas when you're behind you can just play the more aggressive game, which is what the modern game's all about. And Ronnie was away with that, and the double kiss has left John Higgins with an easy starter.
A long way out. Maybe O'Sullivan is a little bit disturbed by his failure to clear up to tie the last frame.
One.
Yes, I think the first frame, Ronnie obviously been very disappointed. He just needed blue, pink and black to tie. So that could rest in his mind. But I think what will also rest in John Higgins' mind, that he made hard work of a frame that he got in first and made a 60 break and needed 3 chances to win it. But you can clear your mistakes if you win the frame. seem to stick in your mind when you lose them. So I don't really know who got the best psychological advantage out of the first frame, but John Higgins won it, and that was the most important thing as far as he was concerned.
9. $16. Wow. John Higgins, 16.
It was a little bit of a cutback, but not all that difficult. Overcut it though.
Yes, he can't believe it, and to be honest with you, neither can I. Well, Ronnie trusted to look where the cue ball went, and he won't be too displeased. He's on the blue.
By the scenic route. Blue
Sullivan, 1.
fails to find the pocket. Chalk drops on the floor. That looked in.
Yes, I thought for one moment it hit the back of the pocket, but it didn't. It just caught the jaw. So another chance for John Higgins.
1.
And of course, apart from the fact you've got to score when you get in, nothing gives you more confidence when your opponent's missing.
Yes, that was peculiar. That blue was pretty similar to the one that O'Sullivan missed at the end of the last frame.
Foul. John Higgins, 1. Ronnie Sullivan, 7.
That was absolutely criminal. How did that red go in there? I can't believe it reached. And he was perfect on the red. Well, perfect for Ronnie now. That was so unlucky.
1.
Well, that was really unlucky, but that's this game.
Eight. 9.
Overhit that. And O'Sullivan's just lost the fine edge of form at the moment. He's missed a couple of blues. He's overhit that one when he had a good margin of error.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 9.
And even the roll up behind the yellow he won't be happy with. He's not snookered John Higgins. In fact, left him an easy safety shot. And he's found the perfect line. No, another another mistake. You just feel, though, that while John's got Ronnie making mistakes, he's got to take advantage.
One. Five.
Now, do you take a chance here? Pop one of these reds, run through, try and get on the top cushion, bring the pink into play. I think he's screwing back up for a baulk colour. He needs to slow up. If he runs past the baulk line, he's not on much.
No friendly angle there to get the cue ball back up towards his next red. Did well to get it that near.
Yes, he did, but he's still not left anything that easy. He's got a choice, one in the left corner, one in the right corner. The one in the right corner he could pot, maybe stun into the reds by the black, beyond the pink. Big shot this.
John Higgins, 8.
Just not getting the big shots at the moment.
More difficult cutback than the one he missed earlier in the frame, but nevertheless one that he would normally get.
Yes, that shot before of John Higgins, it's the type of shot that every player knows. If you knock them in, they're going to be frame winners. The key balls, and he's just not getting them consistently enough in this match so far.
7.
And after all the mistakes, it's Ronnie now who can get back in front in this frame. It'll be a tall order to win it in one visit, even for Ronnie.
8. $14. 15.
So you would imagine now Ronnie will pot the pink, play for the red just above the black, and try and get an angle where he can pot the red and run through and disturb that red by the blue. As I say, tall order to win the frame at this visit, but this could be the key shot. If this goes right, it'd give him a chance.
22.
Still possible to get on that red.
Pot this red, he'll play for the blue.
29.
I'm looking for one more red in a cone. He's got a nice angle on the blue to stun behind the awkward last red. Well, the reason he missed that, and that was careless, but he could only hit the left-hand side of the cue ball because of the black, and he never allowed for the side. He struck down and pushed the cue ball to catch the blue too thin. Well, that's a reprieve for John Higgins. I always said it was going to be difficult for Ronnie to win the frame at that visit, but I didn't expect him to fall down on an easy blue like that. It's not his colour at the moment, Clive.
The 3 important ones he's missed tonight.
Well, you'd hope it was a snooker because he played I think a tentative double there. Thought if he didn't go in he'd get the snooker. It looks as though he has. Oh, that was a superb hit from Ronnie. We normally say in those instances, hit and hope. It looks as though he played that thin contact off the 2 cushions. But he could be in trouble again.
Contact on the middle pocket jaw changed the angle of travel for that red, but for which O'Sullivan might have been snookered. Didn't intend the double kiss.
Yes, and he could be in a lot of trouble here. If John Higgins can stun that cue ball behind the blue and black, he's 21 points behind, but a snooker at this stage of the frame could produce a chance for you to win it. Doesn't look that difficult. Can he judge it right? He'll be disappointed with that. That was a good chance.
That was what he played, full in the face on the red. He knew the cue ball was going near the pocket.
Saved by the pink.
This is far from the highest quality frame of the match, but it's a very important one. Higgins needing to win it to reduce his arrears to 2 frames. O'Sullivan wanting to win it to go 4 ahead again.
Terrific pot. I don't think he'll be playing for a colour here. Off the top cushion, roll up to the blue, get the snooker. He's only 20 points behind. He doesn't need the colour.
Blue ball. John Higgins won.
Well, he's a braver man than me. I'd have certainly played it off the top cushion. Rolling it like that, if it had just drifted to the right, he'd have hit the black. Anyway, he's got the snooker.
And he's got the frame-winning chance.
Yes, the yellow just come near the side cushion, so it's going to be a good shot to pot the yellow and get position on the green. But Ronnie hit the snooker, got out of the snooker really well, but as we always say, you've got to trust to luck whether you get it safe. Now this is a tough positional shot. Frame depends on this. Watch the middle pocket. Oh, he didn't get that much side on it. It was very difficult. If the yellow would have stayed away from the side cushion, it'd have been easy to screw it up the table. It was too thin a contact to do that. And knocking the brown safe has not helped John one iota.
John Higgins 2.
2 consolations though for Higgins. 1, he's low the snooker. 2, O'Sullivan needs both green rather, and that awkward situated brown.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins 4.
Miscalled, mistaken. Ronnie there tried to get a thin contact on the green the first time, not the second time. But John Higgins is working on a proviso that if Ronnie does hit the green, he's going to be lucky to get it safe, and that's why he's had the balls replaced.
He's been lucky. He's got it safe.
Yes, it was hit and hope. But that's all you can do in those circumstances.
Staggered safety. Get the green in the middle of the baulk cushion. Unintended double kiss, but not fatal.
Misjudged that, John Higgins. He played to get that green, I believe, down to the top cushion. He got it too close to the middle pocket. But Ronnie still needs green and brown. Not straightforward.
3.
Just past the middle pocket. Will he take this on? Just the brown required.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 3.
Well, he played it in such a way as he got the angle. And when we say angled, can John Higgins not hit the brown because of the angle of the middle pocket? Both are having a look. And you know, I don't think he can get to this brown. Well, he could just get to it with a little bit of swerve. Had to swerve it all that left-hand side just to bend the cue ball. Well, John Higgins feels he's got the angle here to pot the brown and get on the blue, because the blue's at this end of the table where the white will naturally be travelling. He'll take this on. He needs the 4 remaining colours.
O'Sullivan needs just 1.
Well, he can just hit the brown, but can he get it safe? He has done. Well played, he had to take a little bit of a risk.
But maybe he'd calculated that even if he had gone in off, he would still have been able to win with the last 4 colours.
Yes, fair point, Clive. If it had gone in off, it'd have been 21 behind, but still 22 on the table. So he's thinking clearly enough, and he's having a look at the thin cut on this brown. What a pot. Now is he going to be on the blue, or will the black be in the way? Needs to bounce. He's on it. Blue, pink and black required. Just.
John Higgins 4, frame Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And Higgins concedes in despair without even requiring O'Sullivan to pop the frame ball blue. It was simple, he would have potted it. It's 7-3.
It's not been as smooth flowing a match though as perhaps a lot of people might have expected between the two of them, has it?
No, it's a world championship and I think there is a bit of tension out there, so hopefully John can win the next 2 or 3 frames and get back right into it again.
Well, John, you better settle down now and watch this next frame. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Jane. Night, Jane.
John Higgins Sr., who gets very nervous watching his son, I know. 7-3. Here's frame 11. Back once again to John and Clive.
That's a great way to respond to disappointment.
Oh yes, you've got to take your hat off to this young man. A lot of people, after missing that blue in the last frame, would have come very dejectedly to the table. But what a shot he knocked in, and look how confident he played it. He played for the blue. Maybe that might just kick him into gear, missing that blue.
Six. Seven.
Just went too far on the position on that red just above the black and couldn't avoid the kiss on the other one. He was hoping maybe he could go up for the blue. This is a tough black now. Terrific shot.
14.
It's courageous, Clive, isn't he?
Yes, he's just shut the fear out of his mind.
$15.
And it often seems to be the case that when a player falls behind, he starts losing his inhibitions and going for his shots. He's got to be positive
22.
if he's to get back into contention.
$23.
Once again, though, not ideal on the black. Bit of work to do with the cue ball for position. Well, he decided to float it in, play for that one loose red, and he couldn't have played
30.
it better. This the last of the easy reds, so needs a good angle on a colour. Decided to go up for the
31.
blue, but he's not far enough. There's one red just separated from the main bunch, which I suppose he could just screw the blue in and play for. Won't be as close to it as he would have liked. Trying to get closer to it now. Oh, it's played that well.
36.
Good shot.
I think he tried to flick a second red to hold for the black.
Yes, that's precisely what he tried to do, Clive, and he's misjudged it. So that's end of break. You would have thought, unless he decides to take this black on in the middle, he's looked to see there's a red at the bottom of the cluster, goes to the left centre, but
Yellow ball.
yes, quite right. Much too risky. He's built up a lead. 37 points. Try and create another chance.
John Higgins, 37.
This looks pretty good. Oh, it's just sneaked past the green. Well, he could just get to the edge of that red, and that was a super safety shot. He's put a little bit of pressure on John Higgins now to reply. He's got to catch this just right. Well, I don't know, he missed the yellow, but he's made it a good safety now.
Well, I think O'Sullivan expected the cue ball to miss the black, but it struck it half ball, almost went in off.
Green. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
O'Sullivan thought that he had a good chance of getting the cue ball tight in behind the yellow there.
Much too thin a contact. He wouldn't mind if that went in the middle. Doesn't seem to have left anything easy though for Ronnie. I think he may have left this. I think he can go cushion first. If you can just get to the cushion, round about where the red is in the middle of the side cushion. If you can do that, you can pot this red over the corner. He's playing to swerve to get to the cushion. The main concern he's got now is not so much getting on a colour, but knock this red in that's over the pocket. Don't leave it there for your opponent. Get that part of the shot right. No colour, but he'll be relieved to have removed that red. Just swerving it to the cushion to make that angle, and once he hit halfway down, even with the check side, making a contact with the red was always going to knock it in. Now he's looking for a safety. Got to be a little bit careful with that red. Just to the right of the blue. He doesn't leave Ronnie a chance of a long pot at that.
John Higgins 1.
That was a good shot. Also took the opportunity to put the black near a cushion. He's got a 37-point lead. The black out of commission suits John Higgins fine.
Didn't intend the contact on the second red, but has got away with it, and indeed developed it to a better position.
Well, it may have been that he looked as though he was going for the pot, but when you look at the fact that he missed it and got the perfect path back to balk, if he'd have played the pot and nearly got it, he'd have hit the bump of the middle pocket. So I don't think he was too committed on the pot there. It's okay, but you've got to avoid the double kiss on that shot. And he's done that pretty well. He's got a good cue ball. Just striving to get that one more chance, John Higgins, that could clinch this frame. But I was going to say every credit to Ronnie. He's competing, but he's left this red, he's underhit it. It's on for the left centre. Of course, the cue ball being tight under the baulk cushion doesn't make it any easier.
And because he was tight on the cushion, he could only rely on the natural angle.
Absolutely, Clive, but it was a good pot, and it looks as though the blue will pass the red. It's there. is a frame-winning chance now. 43 points in front. Those 3 reds around the pink will be sufficient. You wouldn't expect any mistakes, but we know there's so much tension out there. You probably heard a little thud there. 13. It was John Higgins banging the table. He's annoyed with that one. He hasn't stunned through far enough. He's out of position. He can still pot this red just below the cue ball, but he's going to have to use an extension, the rest. And, well, I think the only colours he can play for are either green or brown. That's how far he's gone wrong with this. It's there, though. Didn't want that kiss on the red. He's just about on the brown or the green. I would think green would be the preference. In the end, he was so far out of position that he just popped the red and trust to luck for position. And he's on this green. Well, John
Higgins, 40.
He's missing balls that he never misses.
That's the 3rd time tonight that he's overcut a shot like that. O'Sullivan still has it all to do to pull this frame out of the fire, but Higgins should never have given him a chance to do so. Took that opportunity to put the blue safe.
But because the cue ball finished in that position, it's easy for Ronnie O'Sullivan to lay the snooker. But even if Ronnie did get a chance, he's 51 points behind, possible 59 left on the table, and where the reds are situated, almost impossible to make a frame-winning clearance, and particularly, of course, with the black and blue eye as well. So you've got to think that John Higgins will win this frame, but he's not done it as easily as he should have done. And he's not won it yet, but to me he's a big favourite to take it.
Higgins is such a good tactician that it really would be surprising if he couldn't defend a 51-point lead in these circumstances. Just checking if he attempts this red, that neither of the 2 on the board cushion would go. Well, it would have gone. But that is frame ball in that it leaves O'Sullivan needing a snooker. An important one break.
John Higgins 1.
Yes, there you see it. John Higgins 52 ahead. Only 51 remaining for Ronnie. If he doesn't get on the pink, he may concede this frame.
1.
He's got to pot a colour, otherwise the task becomes impossible.
1. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Can't pot one.
John Higgins.
O'Sullivan concedes. Higgins has won 2 of the first 3 frames of the evening to reduce his arrears to 7-4.
And John will be happy enough with the scoreline, but it's just awfully hard work, Steve, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a fascinating game. You know, I'm exhausted. I've watched 3 frames. It really is that tense snooker. It's exactly what you expect in the World Championship final. It's never always going to go smoothly. There's going to be problems. There's going to be crisis points. John Higgins has had a crisis point in this match so far. He's hanging on by a thread in that frame. He's won it. He'll be relieved. But when he missed that blue in the previous frame, his mind must have been reeling as he went back to the seat. Ronnie hasn't capitalised. It's one of those scrappier frames. It would have been nice for Ronnie if he could have done. So now John's just got the chance to get back in again. The door's open to try and reduce the deficit to 2 frames.
Yeah, I just find it fascinating to see 2 of the greatest break builders the game's ever known playing wonderful safety shots and having to play wonderful safety shots.
The safety's been absolutely marvellous. Sometimes the run of the ball, you see lots of shots. All the top snooker players watching, any club players will notice how many shots players perhaps just get away with it, or half a ball roll can make the difference. But there's been a few missed shots in that match. You go, oh, that was a bad shot. It's not. It's just the rest of the shots are so good, you pick up on the average ones.
Ronnie so far just seems to be slightly the more fluent of the 2, but John Higgins is nothing if not a battler. 7-4 it is, last frame before the mid-session interval.
.70 minutes play for 3 frames, which is an indicator of the sort of frames they've been. Predominantly tactical.
Not one over the corner. I'm not certain John Higgins can get through to pot it though. And it's not in the jaws enough to be able to be certain to come off the side cushion or knock another red onto it. So this is a tough shot, this. Well, it certainly on that picture doesn't look as though he can hit the edge of the red. Unless he swerves it slightly. Well, he's playing one onto the other. This is tough. If it had been in the jaws of the pocket, a certainty. Not as it was. So, John will be walking back thinking it was a little bit unfortunate not to be able to get through to that red. And now the mistake from Ronnie has yielded him a chance.
One. Eight. Nine. 16. $17.
Well, they've been longer frames than we saw this afternoon, but they've been engrossing, as you can see there.
$24. $25.
Well, let's see how the cue ball
32.
got through there.
Well, they've all had a problem, haven't they? When that cue ball looks as though it's stopped, it just runs on those extra couple of inches. And just this side of the baulk line, it'd been on green or brown. It's a thin cut on the brown if he's going to take it on. And he is. Oh, what a good pot. Needs a bit of luck for position. And he's not had it.
37.
So a very risky brown, but it might not be for nothing. Well, it's very close, this. Got to watch the push shot.
To get any backspin there, you would have to strike downwards.
Played for a cannon, didn't get it, but for the kiss on the yellow, that could have been end of break. But I think he can just cut this red into the right centre.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 45.
Well, missed it on the thick side, so it couldn't really have been the enough in the corner that he was worried about.
Yes, I think that expression shows it all with Ronnie. He's just not on his game tonight. Can John Higgins take advantage?
Awkward bridging for the first red.
John Higgins stopped in his track was when he saw that red rolling towards the far left corner. I suppose in a way John Higgins was lucky to leave Ronnie hampered. It made the pot missable. This is a massive frame now in the context of the early exchanges in this World Final. Comes to the table 45 points behind. A chance. And Ronnie will be disappointed if he loses 3 of the first 4 frames before the mid-session interval.
9.
And O'Sullivan wasn't poker-faced either after His last two misses. I think he's getting pretty wound up.
$16.
Referee Arian Williams cleaning the cue ball. He's had a good match so far. Of course, he has to concentrate just as much as the players.
$17. $24. $25.
So far, he's got this cue ball under complete control. Something I've not felt he's had so far in this match. That's just about
32.
all right. You'd like to have been straighter on this red.
$33.
Well, is he on a colour? Does the yellow pass the red near the left corner? It must do. Not all the pocket to aim at though. And that's why he missed it. Tried to squeeze it in the left half for the pocket. And what a chance gone.
$1. $5.
Looks at the scoreboard, 17 points in front. He's still going to need the red near this left-hand cushion. John Higgins may get another chance this frame. He'll be hoping he does. He will.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
This is tension. That can be the only reason why some of these shots are being missed. O'Sullivan's got to fight his way through this bad patch. If not in this frame, then after the interval.
$1.
Yes, I was talking about the awkward red near the left-hand cushion, which could have caused Ronnie O'Sullivan a problem. I can't believe he missed that red. And that red now is... well, there's going to be lots of problems with the balls we see him missed. But that is one of John Higgins' main problems if he's going to try and win the frame at this visit. The awkward red on the left-hand cushion.
Tried to develop it.
6.
And I don't know how he missed it. He missed it by a hair's breadth. So, it's a tough blue. He looks to have the angle to maybe disturb the red again. Needs the blue though. Good pot. He's left himself a shot at the red. Not an easy one. Just 6 points behind.
And his rest play in his last couple of matches has not been of the finest. track surely home that time, though. Even if he could do with a better angle on the blue.
Yes, but what a terrific pot. Now, as you say, not the angle on the blue. May have the angle on the green. If he's got a slight angle on the green, that would be the ball to play. Just stun it off the baulk cushion behind the yellow. Or maybe screw direct if he's too straight. He screwed direct and couldn't have played it better. Obviously, like a slight angle on the yellow to get away from the cushion when playing position for the green. Well, he couldn't get away from the cushion. Scores a level. Green, brown, blue and pink. He has the first chance on a very tough green.
Excellent shot. Steady nerve.
Risked all. If the green didn't go in, he'd have left it. Brown, blue and pink required.
O'Sullivan will be fearing the worst. He knows that
29.
Higgins needs only the pink to have won 3 of the first 4 frames this evening. John Higgins now trails only by 2 frames. Ronnie O'Sullivan's lead reduced to 7-5.
And, well, will the interval have improved Ronnie O'Sullivan's concentration? He seemed to lose it a little in the early part of this evening. So often we've said that this mid-session interval does change the course of a match or a session. Well, a challenging safety shot from Ronnie. Thick contact, and he hasn't found the cushion. There's a tempter down this right hand side, the red just past the pink.
Can't get directly to the red over the pocket, but should be able to make the plant, and the black is awaiting. Well, in fact he could go in off the red. Ronnie's highest break this evening is just a break of 48. He had a break of 45 for the mid-session interval, but lost that one.
9.
But this is a good chance.
16. $17. $24. $25.
He's left that red over the left corner, I think, just in case he gets into trouble, and well, he's still okay for another one.
32.
Very unusual to
33.
see the reds lined up as they are. They're all available into the left corner and into the right middle pocket, but they're in like a little semicircle there.
Well, memories of one of your favourite trick shots, that isn't the machine gun shot. But you're not allowed to take a colour in between, are you? But this is a great chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
40. $41. $48.
The seventh black. He had an easy pot in the middle to go through for the blue, opted to come back for the black.
$56. $57. $62. Can you switch that mobile off, please?
Yes, we've got a mobile phone in the audience. There's always someone manages to leave it switched on. Well, if Ronnie can get the to somewhere near that white that I've got on the table, he'd leave all these reds on. As long as he's in a line with it, it'll be okay.
67. $68.
So now 75 in front with only 67 on.
75.
The frame's won. Now the high break will be his target. Possible 142.
83.
Just run astray a little there and have to take it to the corner.
Well, the interval certainly seems to have sorted Ronnie out. He's come out and, well, he's on fire at present.
92.
Got an angle to get over to that difficult red on the left side of the table here.
Yeah, Joe Swale will be at home almost certainly watching
99.
this, Dennis. His high break's in danger here. Joe, if you're watching, but a wonderful start from Ronnie O'Sullivan after the mid-session interval. He looks to be right back in business. 3 frames in front now at 8 frames to 5. Well, I did say that the interval sometimes does play a part in the player getting suddenly back into form, but that was quite exceptional. And well, John Higgins had one shot at the table. He went for a long pot, and quite right to go for it. You can't refuse shots like this. It went, it wobbled, it finished over the corner, and I think as he walked away from the table, Dennis, he knew what might be coming.
Yes, and as we mentioned, the way the balls were situated, and John, as you quite rightly said, knew that Ronnie was it was only a matter of time before he got back into form, and that might just spark John off. We might now see some high breaks from both players.
Certainly a buzz in this audience after that, and quite understand.
Okay, 14th frame. John Higgins to break.
Can't get to this red. The green's just blocking him out. And there you see it. John can't get to the reds to the left of the pink and black, so you have to be very precise here. Cannon on the blue was a good one. Did he play the plant? There was a lot of distance between the two reds. Only John would be able to tell us whether he took that on or not. Problem for John here is the black's only available in the one corner pocket, and he hasn't dropped on a red. Just needed another inch. So just 3 points from that chance.
Yes, he's got to cover a path to this red out to the right of the table towards this corner pocket, down right in the jaws of the yellow pocket, or thereabouts, would just about cover it behind the reds. But after Ronnie's devastating start, he knows he's got to be ultra careful, certainly for a shot or two.
John Higgins 3.
He's got away with that very nicely, unless John can possibly get through. Yeah, there's just enough room to take this red on. good pot, but not ideally on the black. Wanted that white off the cushion a couple more inches. This is a thinnish contact, and the white's running towards the middle pocket. I don't think he can just drop it in and hold for that red near the blue spot. He might have to go round the colours, the bulk colours.
Eight. Nine.
Just where he didn't want to be. He can pot the blue, but it's dead straight. Brown is a much more difficult pot.
John Higgins, 9.
Well, gambled a little. Could have tucked him behind the blue. Felt confident enough to go for the brown, but it was never going to be easy. But the real problem is that he's got perfect on the red.
1.
Ronnie just briefly thought about playing with a lot of topspin to open the reds up. He still might do that. He does create a terrific amount of topspin, but the only thing is, if he plays that shot, he could slide off the side of the reds, so that's why he's just giving it a little bit more thought. In fact, he's changing his mind now. And he's played a pretty poor shot. He played for the one to the right of the black, and he can't see enough of that. He's got the one to the middle, though.
Eight.
Not got the angle on the black to go into the reds this time. Oh, well, maybe he has.
That one shot has created a tremendous opportunity.
16. $20. $21. $27. $28.
Just got to be precise here. They had to miss that red to be on another red to the corner, and
35.
that wasn't a very good shot by Ronnie standards. Misjudged that badly.
Yes, it was just a matter of getting in between the two reds, so it was a bad misjudgment. But what a recovery. Can he cannon the two reds that are together? He couldn't quite, but he still managed to open them up. But if this red doesn't go up past
43.
the pink,
he didn't get a very good split there. He was a bit unfortunate. If it doesn't go past the pink, he'll have to take it to the right middle, and that's, well, fairly tight.
Another well-controlled shot. He knew that he wouldn't leave a lot if he'd have missed it, but he's perfect on the blue.
.49. .50. .57. .58. Well, the first frame lasted just under 8 minutes. This one has been going just over 10. So what a turnaround for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's off and running again. 64. 65. .71.
John Higgins hasn't done a deal wrong.
72.
Not just missed a couple, which weren't easy anyway. But this is
78.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, which you never know. He just seems occasionally to lose the spark,
79.
but then it's back. And he's now playing better snooker than he has throughout the evening.
There's that topspin again. Terrific shot to get to this side of the yellow. 88. And we all know when he's playing like this, Ray, he's just unstoppable. 91.
Well, you just feel the only way he's going to miss one is if he's careless. He just gets in front of himself. But well, he just failed to get a century 95. In the last frame. Broke down at 99. To regain a 4-frame lead now. 9-5 he leads.
And that of course means that it's guaranteed that Ronnie will lead going into tomorrow's third session. Whatever happens in the remaining 2 frames, he really is flowing now, Steve, and he played a wonderful shot to split the pack there.
Yes, possibly the greatest ever break builder we've ever seen in the game. Look, we know what he did with the ball. He played with severe backspin, potted the black into these reds. When it's got to these reds, it's got nowhere to go. The only thing on the ball is the backspin, and it takes it over to here. But just take a look at one other thing. We know what happened, but just have a look at what happens to how far he goes through the cue. Right, with the ball, how far he goes through the white ball, how far did that cue go through there? And that's how he got the backspin on. Rammed his cue right through the ball.
Terrific commitment to the shot, but he is flowing. It's neither of them were in the first session before the break there, but now Ronnie is in among the balls and is looking very good, isn't he?
Yes, he is. You know, John's just got to try and get in there somehow, but it's not easy.